Hello and welcome. My name is Mitch Dyer. This is Andrew Goldfarb. He's a handsome young man who has played through the entirety of BioShock Infinite's first story DLC, Burial at Sea, Episode 1. Andrew, how does it end?
I'm not going to tell you how it ends.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
more on BioShock
keep it locked
Infinite.
to IGN for more.
But tell me, like, what I want to know more than anything. Like, you're IGN's resident BioShock ridiculous nerd person, and I want to know, like, we're in Rapture, right? Burial at Sea is in Rapture. Is it more than just obligatory fan service? Like, look, it's Andrew Ryan. Look, it's Big Daddy. Look, it's all this stuff that you remember. Is it more than that?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, what's cool is that there is obviously a ton of fan service. They are like very early on, you see like little wonders, which you saw in like Point Prometheus and BioShock 1. But it's like the cool thing is that it's all Rapture before the fall.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing. The glass isn't broken. There's not water flowing in.
Right.
The lights are on. People are walking around and talking and like casually, having fun and like hanging out and drinking. Like it's like really cool because the city feels alive in a way it never has before. But yeah, like that stuff honestly to me like does, I mean, it's largely fan service. It's largely just showing you Rapture. What feels different about it and what I think is really cool is that number one, like the start of Infinite, the whole start of this DLC doesn't have combat. You're walking around, but it's like longer than that. Like the idea is that you're exploring the city, you're interacting with people, you're like accomplishing specific tasks. The second half of it is where it really feels like BioShock 1 because there's combat and it uses, again, it's not a new game, it's DLC for Infinite, so it has to use all the same systems and stuff as Infinite.
Right, I mean, you say it feels like BioShock 1, but you are Booker, and you have Booker's systemic properties.
You do, but the difference is that, like, they really fine-tuned it, so, like, in BioShock Infinite, you always have too much ammo, too much health, too much money. You are never, I mean, in 99 mode you are, but in normal modes, like, you are never worried about resources. Where in this, it's like you never have enough ammo, you never have enough health. Like it's actually they really made it feel much more like urgent than I think Infinite did, and it feels like BioShock 1, and it does like you really have to be careful when you're using, when you're picking which guns you can use, when you're picking which figures you can use. All that stuff.
The whole time, though, Elizabeth is still with you, right? She
Elizabeth
walks
is
in.
with
It
you.
starts with her coming to your office, and you leave with her, and you go and
Exactly.
explore. Is she still like throwing you salts or whatever they are in Rapture now?
Like the whole time I played, I think she only threw me one or two things.
Okay.
It's very few and far between. But yeah, like she is there again in the same capacity she was in Infinite. She runs around with you. Yeah, like you said, it opens in Booker's office, and you come out and you see pre-fall Rapture. It's actually the same shot as that trailer they showed a few months ago, where you come out and you see the no gods or kings, only men or whatever. See Andrew Ryan's face, and you're walking around, and like there is some cool returning stuff. The systems are the same, but they've been slightly changed, right? So it's like your salts are once again Eve. There's no Silver Eagles. You're using money. The audio diaries are just called audio logs rather than voxophones.
Right.
There's like this new thing they added, which is basically like a kinetoscope from Infinite, but it's called like a need-to-know machine, I believe it is. And they're basically reworking everything to fit into Rapture, but still be the same.
Okay.
However, what's cool about it is that there are like story reasons for some of those things. So it's like in BioShock 1, you injected plasmids, but here you drink them like vigors, and they explain why. And one of my favorite parts of it, I think overall, is that like BioShock 1, you see these people, these splicers, Big Daddies, all these things that are like perfect killing machines. Like they're very good at killing people, but it's like, why would they have had those abilities in a city that was thriving and that was alive? Like, why does a Big Daddy with a drill in his arm make sense? Why can a Houdini splicer teleport? Like, why would someone want that ability?
Yeah.
And what's cool about this DLC is that it answered those questions. You see in practical use like what a Big Daddy did in the city of Rapture before, and you see like what a Houdini splicer could have done to find work and like what he's doing in that city. And it's like a really cool moment where you're like, oh, like that's really smart. And it's just like very simple, very subtle little things, but like that was why like kind of walking around and getting that feeling of like it really does. It doesn't feel like Columbia underwater. Like it feels like its own city. It feels like very much like Rapture, but it's like, alive.
Real quick before we go, it doesn't have a release date yet.
Right.
It's probably this year.
It's definitely before the holiday season.
But, I mean, you played through it. What did it tell you about Episode 2, which is the episode where you play as Elizabeth?
Yeah, it definitely sets up some stuff. I mean, like, we can't really talk about how it ends, obviously. I don't think people would want us to. But it definitely is setting up what I think will come in that. And I think it, by the end of it, I think is, the pieces are on the board where they need to be to make that DLC make sense.
Okay. Read Andrew's impressions on IGN. And for all your BioShock Burial at Sea needs, Andrew, where do the people go?
IGN.com.
Pretty good website.